PaPaSea YouTube, what's up? How's it going, everybody? 6 Foot Hacks here, bringing you guys today the team builder for week 2 of the NPA. So if you may have missed our week 1 battle, don't watch that. We kind of got destroyed on, like, it was bad. It was ugly. Like, it was worse than GBA D League week 1, and that in itself was really, really bad. So we unfortunately got body bagged very badly in week 1. And a big thing I wanna say here, and I want you guys to understand this. If you're going to watch any future battles, just please understand this, that I am not used to running a offensive draft. Anytime I draft, I have a bulky offensive draft. I have my pivot mons. I like switching out into those bulky mons, whether they can live 1 or 2 hits, regardless. I like being able to do that. But with a draft like this, where it's so offensive and so aggressive, I need to adapt to being able to play it in that manner. So I can't play my normal style and defensive or pivoting out in and out. And I think I mentioned that in like the last bit of the actual week 1 battle, but I don't know if anybody actually really listened. Like you understand this, guys. I want you to understand this. So with that being said, hopefully we can try and pull out a victory here for week 2. I learned from my mistakes in week 1. Even if we don't go neutral, even if we don't win week 2 6-0, just being able to win in general is going to be better than us being 0-2 with like negative 10, 8, I don't know, 11 or something like that. Because that one win with that one loss is very, very huge. It's a big difference between being 0-2 going into week 3. So yeah, this is going to be the battle of the losers, because both me and Goffies and myself, however the proper pronunciation is, we both lost our week 1 battle. So we are both looking for a W here, although he did not lose as badly as I did. We are both looking for a W nonetheless. So definitely check him out, guys. Channel link will be down below. He is the coach of the Southampton Sharpedos. So let's take a look at the matchup, which is going to be below me. So 2 giant threats already in this matchup, Heliolisk and Garchomp. Y'all saw week 1, y'all saw how scary Mega Garchomp is. Regular Garchomp is faster, which makes it a little bit more annoying. But the great thing about this matchup is that while Garchomp is very terrifying, if he doesn't bring Alola Marowak, which I honestly 100% do not expect Alola Marowak, we have Mega Gallade that can get knockoff, we have Manaphy, we have Mamoswine, we have Tyrantrum, we have hydreigon, Pyroar learns Dark Pulse, and Rotom learns Dark Pulse. So that's over half of our draft that can deal with Alola Marowak, so I honestly don't expect it whatsoever. But if he does bring Garchomp and he doesn't have Stealth Rocks on Garchomp, that's going to be really good for us, because then at that point we can determine on if he is Life Orb or Z move. I don't expect it to be Choice Scarf or Choice Bandit, because that would just be really bad if he gives me a free switch into Hydreigon, which, look at Hydreigon, look at his draft. Things just kind of die when Hydreigon comes in, so it's going to be really good. Heliolisk is stupidly annoying in this matchup. It doesn't really matter what I want to bring. Heliolisk can easily just run like Expert Belt or Life Orb is what I'm mainly expecting. I don't think he would want to bring something like Choice Scarf Heliolisk or ChoiceSpecs Heliolisk, because we have 2 ground types and we have 2 steel types. So if he gives me a free switch into something like Steelix or Mamoswine or even just Tyrantrum, depending on whatever he locks himself into and that we resist or that we're immune to, then I can get up rocks, I can potentially set up, I can get a free KO even with potentially a Z move, or if I'm Bandit or something. So I really am expecting something like Life Orb or Expert Belt Heliolisk. Scizor, I think, definitely has to come to this matchup. Like, defensive Defog Scizor makes a lot of sense, although there is a good chance he could have Defog on Togekiss, so he can have like a defensive setup variant of Scizor, so that kind of makes a lot of sense. Togekiss, I definitely expect to either be defensive with maybe like the Babiri Berry or the Kabia Berry, or potentially be Choice Scarf. Actually, Scarf Togekiss is probably more annoying than something like defensive with Defog and Leftovers in general. But if it is Scarf, that means he probably has Defog on Scizor, which means Scizor is not going to be able to set up. So that's going to be really good. And I almost don't expect Skuntank to come to this matchup. Mainly because, yeah, it does outspeed some of our good offensive mons, but it doesn't really do anything else. Like, I really feel like he shouldn't bring Skuntank to this game. Same thing for Rotom Frost. I don't think he's going to bring Double Electric. Chestnut and Floatzel do maybe have a chance to come over one of the top 6, but the top 6 is mainly what I'm expecting. Ambipom is going to be super annoying, although I can see why he may not bring it, because Garbodor do tend to run Rocky Helmet and then Slowbro. I think he's either going to be physically defensive with maybe Z move or Colbur Berry, or potentially Assault Vested. the former rather than the latter. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about going into this match. So let's take a look at our first team member here, which is going to be Okada, aka Manaphy the Rainmaker. And this is just purely max defense, max HP Manaphy. Literally only for the Garchomp. Like, this is our Garchomp switching. And again, I don't expect them to bring something like a Choice Banded Garchomp. And if he's not Choice Banded and he's not Life Orb, then not even an Earthquake into a Z Earthquake should be able to 2-hit KO us. And I think we can actually live 3 hits regardless coming from Garchomp, depending on exactly how much offensive EVs he has and if he's running a Z move or not. So the great thing is that Manaphy, if I don't switch it in, I always guarantee live 2 hits. So then I can Rain Dance and rest, or I can sometimes live 3 hits if it comes down to it. So obviously I will have to try and find out what kind of set Garchomp is running. But Scald hits absolutely everything except for Heliolisk, and Toxic is super nice to Toxic everything except for the Scizor or the Skuntank. Now, yeah, Dry Skin Heliolisk is very, very plausible to come to this matchup. Like, honestly, there's no reason for him to not run Dry Skin on the Heliolisk. Like, he should run Dry Skin. His other 2 abilities don't really help him out at all. So while he can gain some HP back with the Rain, if we're able to Toxic Heliolisk and we're able to get up Stealth Rocks, then it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And then his defoggers, again, are either going to be Scizor or the Togekiss, which I don't expect Skuntank. If he does bring Skuntank, though, then that'll definitely put a warning sign in my mind that, hey, that is most likely his defogger. So then he probably has like set up Togekiss, set up Scizor as well. So that'll be something to watch out for. Or Scarf Togekiss, as I mentioned. But his defoggers are more than likely going to be Togekiss and Scizor, both of which I can Toxic or Scald Burn accordingly. And then if Scizor is defog, he's not going to be Swords Dance, so that's going to be really good. And then if he has defog on Togekiss, that means it's not going to be like Nasty Plot or Scarfed or something along those lines. So that will also be some really good information. But for the most part, physically defensive Manaphy is solely here for the Garchomp. But it also does kind of help pseudo check Ambipom if it's Rock. If it's Life Orb, then we can wear it down the Ambipom with the Life Orb recoil. I thought about maybe putting Rocky Helmet, but just leftovers are way too crucial, I think. I think leftovers are really needed on this Manaphy, especially for that Garchomp. This also helps us check the Floatzel, because there should be no way to KO those. We can check Scizor, burn it potentially, and then if for some reason he does bring Marowak, this will check it pretty well. So moving on to Pokemon number 2, we have Wanderer, aka Steelix here. And the great thing about Steelix in this matchup is that we can actually run a pretty nice offensive set. Fun fact, if I had made this Adamant with less attack EVs and put them back into Spadef, we would have got the exact same attack and the exact same Spadef. So that would have been pretty cool. But actually, it might have looked cooler if I did go Adamant with the few physical attack and then all the Spadef. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so Ice Fang and Fire Fang hit pretty much everything that Goffies does potentially want to bring. And the great thing about Ice Fang on the set, it was suggested to me by my boy Shuckle King. Actually shouts out to the front office homies and my Bullet Punch Club homies for helping me out with this. Uzi, Verd, Shuckle King, Harris, I think Ravarex helped us out a little bit as well. But yeah, so Ice Fang and Fire Fang with Sheer Force do a lot of damage to everything he has. I think Ice Fang alone does like 80 to like almost 90%, a little bit under 90% I think, to Garchomp. Or we can pop a potential Yachi Berry. Like Yachi Berry Garchomp I think does kind of make some sense if he does want to bring that. But if he is Yachi Berry, that means I don't have to worry about Swords Dance, and then Manaphy is just that much easier of a switch into it. Fire Fang should always guarantee 2-hit KO Scizor unless he is running max defense, max HP. Like, he needs to be max defense, max HP with an impish nature to never get 2-hit KO'd by Fire Fang. If he's running like 156 defense EVs with an impish nature and like max HP, we still have like a solid 80% chance to 2-hit KO it with the Fire Fang, so that's going to be really good. Obviously, because we're Sheer Force, we can't burn him, but still just being able to do that damage is absolutely amazing. Stealth Rocks are going to be great in this matchup because that means we can pressure the Heliolisk and we will be able to get off some good needed chip damage on Togekiss, which regardless if Togekiss is defensive or offensive, it's going to be really annoying to deal with in this matchup. And then Earthquake, of course, is just there so we can try and have some type of stab. I almost wanted to put Heavy Slam over Earthquake, but Earthquake is just kind of nice. If he's not running any speed on Slowbro, then we can weaken the Slowbro or potentially pick it off if it is low enough, and I don't think he would want to run any speed on Slowbro, honestly. So That's why we have just 4 random EVs in our speed there, so we can outspeed the Slowbro. So yeah, moving on. Oh yeah, PaPaSea is actually really nice, because this means we can take 2 huge hits from anything, or potentially 2 super effective hits from anything. So that is definitely going to come in handy. I think I am going to try and lead with my Steelix just so I can get up rocks turn 1, but we'll see how things go, and we'll see exactly what he does bring. So moving on to the next team member here, we have Mojado, aka Rotom Mo, my trusty lawn mower, this time coming with a choice Scarf, because Scarf Rotom Mo is absolutely phenomenal this matchup. His best answers to this Rotom are the Garchomp, which we can absolutely smack with the Hidden Power Ice and knock him out after some chip damage, or even 2 Leaf Storms already do like 60 to like 70%, I think, so that can be really nice. But Scarf Rotom Mo is going to be absolutely amazing, because again, I do kind of expect them to want to bring Scarf Togekiss. So by having Scarf Rotom, we outspeed Togekiss, and we can gain momentum off of it, we can pressure it. Yeah, this set doesn't hit Alolan Marowak, but so much of our team beats Alolan Marowak. I really don't expect Alolan Marowak to come. So yeah, if he brings Alolan Marowak, then I guess that would be a little bit bad for our Rotom, but I mean, we can play around that. Like, I thought about maybe putting Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse was suggested to me, and I thought about it, but I was like, I don't really know. Shouts out to Tone, he kind of helped me build too. But I don't know if I really want to risk a move to put Dark Pulse on, because Thunderbolt's really good for late game. Like, if it's late game and the Garchomp is gone, I just click Thunderbolt for free. If I don't want to click Thunderbolt, I can just go for Volt Switch. Hidden Power Ice, I think, is absolutely necessary, because we need to have that nuking move for Garchomp. Like, yeah, 2 Leaf Storms do a good amount of damage, but I would much rather ensure a KO after like Stealth Rocks and Life Orb damage, or Stealth Rocks and some chip damage, and knock him out with Hidden Power Ice. And then Leaf Storm is super nice for stab, and our hardest hitting move on the Ambipom, Heliolisk, and the Slowbro, as well as the Rotom Frost and the Floatzel. So I really don't want to give up a hard-hitting stab move either, especially when every one of our other team members can already hit and 2 KO the Alolan Marowak more than likely. So yeah, I really don't want to give up a move for Dark Pulse. I think like these 4 moves are perfectly fine. Like, Rotom Mo can hopefully put in a lot of work and being able to gain us some good momentum. Next off, we have one of our absolute nukes in this battle. Look at Specs Pyroar and look at his team, guys. Unless that is like max Spadef, max HP Assault Vest Slowbro, legitimately everything is straight 2-hit KO'd by Hyper Voice or Fire Blast. Fire Blast alone does a minimum of 40% to Garchomp, which is crazy. Also, we have Hidden Power Ice to absolutely OHKO the Garchomp, and even if he has Yachi Bear, we have Unnerve. Unnerve makes it so your opponent cannot use their berries, and that's where Dark Pulse also can really come in handy against Slowbro, because if he has Cobra Berry, that's still going to be straight to a KO'd unless he is max BDF, max HP with the Assault Vest. So yeah, Pyroar can honestly come in for free on the Scizor, on the weakened Togekiss, and if we know Togekiss is not Scarfed, or if it's not locked into something like Aura Sphere or Air Slash, we can come in on a weakened Slowbro, on Skuntank, on Chestnut even, and we just click one of our dual stabs, or we predict the switch and something gets absolutely dropped. I was really debating on whether or not I wanted to go Specs, Choice Scarf, Silk Scarf, or Wise Glasses. Ultimately though, I think I would rather have the nuking power of ChoiceSpecs Pyroar, because this thing can just body so many of our opponent's mons, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Also, this is our kind of like main check or answer to something like Swords Dance Scizor. I don't even think +4 Bullet Punch knocks this out from full or after Stealth Rock, so that can definitely come in handy, and then we just kind of bend them over with a Fire Blast. So yeah, not much to say about Pyroar outside of the fact that it's nuking a lot of things. So next off, we have our lure in the form of the Shield, aka hydreigon, and I'm so hopeful for this set. So if we know Togekiss is not Scarfed, or if it is Scarfed and he's shown that switching into Togekiss is his initial answer to Hydreigon, then I can catch it with the Flash Cannon, or after Stealth Rocks, if he is purely offensive, a Corkscrew Crash straight knocks out Togekiss. So that's really good. And if he is max defense, max HP, or if he's not running any Spadef in general and just has HP investment, a Flash Cannon into a Corkscrew Crash is always a 2-hit KO on the Togekiss. Also, he may expect me to go like Z Belch, so he could run Kabaya Berry, and it's kind of a toss-up in the air on whether or not he would want to bring one of the two berries, the Steel Weakening Berry or the Poison Weakening Berry. So hopefully, if he does have one of those two, it's the Poison Weakening Berry, because we could easily go Z Belch and absolutely obliterate the Togekiss. But the good thing about Flash Cannon over Belch is that we still have access to Flash Cannon. As we're with Belch, if we go for the Poisonium Z Belch and he switches out, then that's really bad, because now we can't hit Togekiss for super effective damage. As where us having Flash Cannon means that even if we do waste our Corkscrew Crash on something, we can still Flash Cannon the Togekiss for at least like 40%, which is going to be really, really good. Also, much like Pyroar, hydreigon just comes in for free, and I kind of just get a KO. I Oko Scizor, I always 2-hit KO Chestnut unless it's like Spadef AV. Draco Meteor can be dropped on his team once he loses Togekiss or Scizor, but if he does have Scizor, I can still Dark Pulse it into a Fire Blast or Flash Cannon it into a Fire Blast. But for the most part, Dark Pulse is really spammable against his team once Togekiss is gone, or if Togekiss is weakened enough, I can Dark Pulse, then knock it out with a Corkscrew Crash or a Flash Cannon. So that's going to be absolutely amazing as well. I didn't want to go Flamethrower because Flamethrower does not do enough damage to Spadef Bulky Chestnut if he does want to bring Chestnut. So I would much rather not risk that scenario. I would rather have the extra raw power from the Fire Blast. So as long as we don't get unlucky with Fire Blast, we should be fine. And then finally off, we have Ric Flair here, the Mega Gallade. Much like our Week 1 Mega Gallade, this late game with Swords Dance and these 3 offensive moves can just kind of clean up. The cool thing about Mega Gallade is that we can always outspeed non-scarfed Heliolisk. We always outspeed Garchomp as well, and those two again are the biggest threats in this matchup, both of which are O-code by Close Combat and Ice Punch respectively. Of course, Knockoff is amazing because his only real switch into Slowbro is going to be the his only switch into Mega Gallade is the Slowbro, so we can catch that with the Knockoff. If he has Fizz Dev Togekiss and he tries to switch that in, then we can catch that with the Knockoff, find out if it's a Berry, maybe Leftovers, Rocky Helmet I guess, or like a bulky Z set, I'm not really sure. Ice Punch does also do really good damage to Togekiss and the Chestnut as well. +2, this thing is absolutely destroying everything, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So yeah guys, that is going to be our Week 2 squad for the NPA. Hopefully we can try and redeem ourselves after getting bodied in Week 1, and we can try to go 1-1 going into Week 3. So check out our opponent guys, check out everybody else in the NPA, and with that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So thank y'all for watching guys. Later everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks.